Hello, my name is Yeji, otherwise known as @MadeCo, here on YouTube and on Instagram. Today I have a mid-month update video for you and probably my last sit-down video before the end of the year, which is crazy to say, but I think after this video, my next video will be my first video in 2026, which will be everything that I made in December. So today I just want to share my finished objects, works in progress, as well as some knitting plans. And at the very end of the video, I do have a small giveaway. Jumping right in, we'll start off with what I'm currently wearing, which is my first finished object that I want to share. And this is Sibilla Cardigan by Cookie the Knitter. I knit my cardigan in size medium, which is the third size, and I used the needle size 1 down from recommended in the pattern, so I used the US 8 5mm needle due to the yarn that I used. I am sitting closer to the camera today because my daughter is in the room with me, and so that's why I'm in this corner again. And I would love to show you what it looks like up close, but today we might have to get more up close and more personal, so I'll first stand up and show you what it looks like before I start putting B-rolls and pictures on the side. Standing up, this is what the cardigan looks like. I love the cabling details on it. It's an all over cable cardigan. You do have a slight bit of moss stitch on the side, but it's really not that much. I'll button it up and show you what it looks like as well. Buttoned up, this is what it looks like. I do have a little bit of ease on the side. It is quite a drapey cardigan, but it still has some structure to it where I feel like it's not super loose on the body, and it does still have a really good shape to it, as well as the arms are quite fitted, and so they fit quite well. I will turn around as well. I'm not sure how much you will see or how well you will see it, but this is what the back looks like, and it's the same cabling as the front. Currently in Seattle, it's not super cold, so I'm very comfortable wearing this jacket out and not having anything on top of it, and I really enjoy the warmth it provides. Right now it's getting kind of warm in here, but we will power through. This cardigan goes from a 41 to a 63-inch bust circumference, and using the 1 needle size down, the US 8 5mm needle, I think that I have maybe around 5 to 6 inches of positive ease, and that it just is a very comfortable width on me. There isn't as much positive ease in the arms, but I think that's fine as well. It's still very comfortable. I'm able to wear shirts under these, and I can probably get away with wearing thinner sweaters under this jacket as well. The yarn that I use for my cardigan is Yaleholt's Ulspinderi Handworks yarn in the color 30 half scum, which means seafoam. I love this gray greeny color. It's very bright, and I think that it shows off cables so beautifully. It is quite a round yarn, and even though it's I think around 200 meters for 100 grams, it does feel more of an Aran weight yarn. It's a worsted to an Aran weight because it is very round, very plump, and I think after I blocked it, it's not one of those yarns that blooms and suddenly becomes super big, but it does bloom really nicely, and I think that my cardigan holds its shape and structure really well. I really enjoyed working with this yarn, and it's one of those yarns where I would love to work with again. The only thing is that I don't think this is one of those yarns though that I would put next to skin in a tight fitting garment. Maybe something a bit oversized or a jacket such as this is really nice. It's not super soft. It does feel very hardy, and I'm not sure that I would want a super close fitting cowl with this yarn, or maybe a really tight hat. But I think in a hat it could be very beautiful, especially if paired with maybe a silk mohair or something to kind of tone down a little bit of the roughness of the yarn. But I think that this piece will last me a really long time, and I'm really happy that I have worked with it and that it's in the sweater. I know that Catherine is also really enjoying her time working on this as well, and she's loving the outcome, so I don't think that's an only me thing, but just the whole yarn, if you have the chance to work with Yaleholt Handworks yarn, I highly recommend it, as many people have recommended it to me, and I can see why it's one of the favorites of a lot of people because it is truly beautiful. I really enjoyed working on this cardigan. I really enjoyed the pattern. The pattern was very clearly written. There are a lot of charts, A, B, C, D, E, and so you follow the charts as you follow the pattern, and as long as you do it one by one, you shouldn't have any issues. I know that for Catherine, it's her first large cabled, all over cabled cardigan, and so all the more power to her for choosing this as her first one, but she seems to be really enjoying it as well. And if you are into cabling, then you cable every right row in this cardigan, and then on the wrong side you're just matching your stitches. And so I think that if you are into it and you like this design, I would highly recommend the pattern. It was really fun. The only thing is I did lengthen the length of the sleeve. A lot of people on Ravelry said that they had to lengthen their sleeves just because what's in the pattern I think is more of a bracelet length, and because I wanted to wear this more as a jacket, I lengthened it just a tiny bit. I think that after the last decrease row, what's in the pattern is 3.5 centimeters, and then to do 4 inches of ribbing, I did 3.5 inches and then 4 inches of ribbing. For this cardigan, for my size, I used 5.2 skeins of Yale Holt's Handbarks yarn. I used the entire 5 skeins for the whole body, and then basically for the button band as well as for the collar, that was where the 20 plus grams went into. And so I'm really happy that I bought the 2 additional skeins when I didn't need the entire 2 additional skeins, but I'm really glad that I have it nonetheless. And I will probably have uploaded the project vlog on the Sibilla cardigan before this video goes out, and so if you are interested, I'll have that video linked in the description and a thumbnail of what it looks like off to the side here. My last finished object I don't have here to show you, and that's because I gifted it to a friend today. It is Noodles by Sarah Shira. I am so happy with how this Noodles came out. I made a gnome every month this year, and I am so happy to say that Noodles is the last one. It's the one for December, and I will not be making more gnomes in the near future just because I am all gnomed out now. But I'm really happy with the way this one came out. I used Hazelnut's Artisan Sock yarn. I hold fingering yarn double for most of my gnomes, and for this one, because the Artisan Sock base is a little more plush, I held it with a US 4, a 3.5 millimeter needle instead of my usual US 3, 3.25. And the colors I will have all in my Ravelry project page because I did use quite a few colors. I was trying to use up a lot of my scraps. The hat, I have vertical stripes going up, and I do talk about this gnome in my small projects vlog holiday edition, and most of the objects in that are from November, but I sneak this one in that project vlog. And so if you are interested in that project vlog, then I will also put that in the description link below. Next, we'll jump into works in progress. I usually only have one work in progress, one large work in progress, but this week I have 2, and I have reasons for it, so we'll get into it. So this is the Loon Sweater by CM Knits. This is a Christmas gift for my sister, so it's not done yet. I still have quite a bit of work to go on it, but I am done the sleeves. I just need to work down the body, and it's just plain stockinette from here. I am knitting a size large on one needle size smaller again than what's recommended in the pattern, but this is not due to the yarn, but due to the stitch gauge. So this is recommended with a 20 stitch gauge, and that's what I get with a US 6, a 4 millimeter needle, and so that's what I'm using. The yarn that I'm using is Blue Sky Fibers Woolstock Worsted, and the main color is October Sky, and this beige color is Driftwood Heather. Originally, when I showed it last time in my November makes video, I said that I would do the panel with a darker color, and I was planning on doing that, but when I was just working down it, I wasn't thinking, and I just ended up making the color work. I worked down most of the color work with this October Sky color before I noticed, and then I told my sister about it, and she said that she actually prefers it to be in this lighter color and just to have 2 colors for the entire sweater, so I'm glad that that worked out. Usually when you're working a color work chart, you actually see the chart written like this because you're working it from this side top down, and that's how it is written. However, in this chart, it is flipped, so it's actually, you're seeing the chart like this, if that makes any sense. So you're seeing it from this angle to this angle, and the way you read it is exactly the same, where you go right to left on right side rows and left to right on wrong side rows. However, it's just reading it, I think that just took me aback, but in the end, the author does say that, the designer does say that she did it like that on purpose because she prefers reading her charts in the way she's written it, and I think that's fair. It was easy enough to do, and I think that the other thing with this is that there is quite a bit of space between the loon's heads, and so I used the ladder back jacquard method for the color work, just at the top, so that I wouldn't have as many floats, or else I think there are around 17 floats that I might have to 17 stitches of floats that I would have to carry my color across, and I didn't want that to happen. I think after I block it, everything will block out really well and nothing will really pucker, and so I think with a longer float, ladder back jacquard would be the way to go for this pattern specifically, just because the motif doesn't change or shift where it's located, and you only have to do it for a small section. And so if you are making this pattern, I highly suggest doing the ladder back jacquard method. I think that it just makes it easier than trapping your floats in different stitches, just because with a lighter background, it's easier to catch where you trap your stitches, you can kind of see it. And so I think that this is the more invisible method and probably the method that best fits this color work chart, but there are no explicit instructions in the pattern of how to do it. I am currently making a project vlog for this, but of course it'll probably go out sometime later in December, and so after I'm done the sweater. And so currently all I have to do is now just work down the body to the length. I only have one more skein of this yarn left, but this yarn is 150 grams, so I think that will carry me to the length that I want. So this is a project I'm currently working on, and I have to give this to my sister on December 22nd, which is when my side of the family, when our Christmas celebration is, just because of everything else that will be happening. And so I think that I will work on this probably, of course, sometime this week, and make sure that I have enough time to block it and dry it before gifting it to her. And I will definitely let you know about her reactions and everything in my everything I made in December video. I thought that this would be done by now, but I also didn't expect that I would start the other projects, so we'll get into that now. And the current project that's taking up all my attention is this one. This is Astrid's women's sweater. I'm making this in a size large, and this is a sans scarf pattern, and I'm making this as a sample knit for Tea Cozy Yarn Shop. And I like to have my sample knits done within a month if I can. However, and Emily gives a lot more time, Emily from Tea Cozy Yarn Shop, but that's just what I like to do, is just make sure that it's a priority knit and I'm getting it done. This one, I already have put it off because I wanted to finish all the stuff on my Make 9 in November, as well as finish this loon sweater. But I thought that I would have enough time to still finish the loon sweater while getting started on this. So I think it was just my rush to start this that made me pause the loon sweater for a little bit. So I'm making this in a size large with sans garn yarn, and I'm holding sans garn 10 Peer Gint with silk mohair held together for the entire sweater. So the yarn here is 2650, which is gray beige heather, 3800, which is Bristol black, and 2321 for marzipan. And you can tell definitely the difference between the gray beige heather and the marzipan color in the sunlight. So the color contrast, the difference between the gray beige heather and the marzipan is very slight, and I think that's what makes the sweater so beautiful, is that you don't expect it to have changed just slightly between this leaf motif. And I really enjoy making this, and it's such a beautiful sweater. This is, however, knit on US 4 3.5 millimeter needles, so they are smaller needle sizes, and the ribbing on the collar was done on a 2.5 millimeter needle, which is a US 1.5, and so that took a long time because it is a folded over collar. So there are two options. You knit it top down or bottom up. I'm knitting the top down version, and it is just a simple raglan construction, and this pattern does go to 151 centimeters, and I don't think there is a ease preference that's labeled in the pattern. So for the collar, they say to pick up every single row or every single stitch, and then to decrease it in the next round to the stitch number that you need, and that's what I did. It's currently puckering a little bit, but I think with blocking and with wear, it should actually flatten out, and so I'm looking forward to that happening, and hopefully it does happen that way. So this is a project that's been taking up all of my attention, and I hope to get this done before the end of the year. I hope to have it to Emily by the end of the year, and so I am currently making a project video for this one as well. So I think by the end of the year, you could probably expect for these two videos to be up as well. And I'm just excited just to be able to get things off my needles, as well as to finish these two items, because they're both quite exciting. They're both not for me, and I think that will drive me to work on it faster. And next, just to briefly jump into plans for the end of the year, I will be making Wintersoul by Dorothy Fissiers, or Adorable Knits, and I will be buddy knitting this with my friend Leah of Ruby and Pearls, and she has a podcast here on YouTube. So I'll be making it with Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Garnet Heather, and this will be my main color, and then I'll be putting the color work with Knit Picks Simply Wool in the color Winnie, and this is also a worsted weight wool, and I think that this would make for a really warm, the original one is cream with black color work motifs, and I think that this will be really nice to have it be the main color, be the darker color, and then to have the light beige be the little color work motifs. And I think that the Wintersoul is perfect. It's perfectly named. It really feels like it'd be the perfect winter sweater. So we are casting on December 15th, but I plan on working on this majority of it in January as well as the end of December, and I would love to get a lot of it done at the very tail end of December. So this is what I'll be working on, and I am really excited about that. And that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Before I let you go, I want to say thank you for 3,000 subscribers, and I would love to have a small giveaway. So I would love to give away to 10 different people 10 indie published singular pattern, either on Ravelry or through the designer's website. And so if you have a pattern that you don't own and you want to make in 2026, please leave it in the comment of what you would like to make, and I would love to gather ideas from what you'd like to make as well. So to enter this giveaway, please like this video, comment what you would like, as well as subscribe to my channel. I am so grateful that you are watching this video and that you have been here for me for this past year and a little bit of last year if you have been here for that long. And I'm very, very happy that we are able to communicate and chat about knitting. All of the details of the giveaway will be in the description box below, and I will pick and announce the winners in my next sit down video, which will most likely be everything that I made in December. And so that video will probably be one of the first videos to go up in January of 2026 if you want to come back and see if you've won the giveaway. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great end of the year, end of 2025, as crazy as it is to say. And I hope if you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays. Have a great week, a great end of year, and I will see you next time.